Today we will talk mainly about your experience as a user using this ChatGPT feature. So let me start. So what do you use ChatGPT for?
Okay, I use it to do a lot of things like asking better questions, explaining things in easier manner, which I already know, but like knowing those things and learning in easier manner or easier language helps me understand them better. Let's say there's a topic like quantum computing, and if I don't understand it well enough, I ask the same thing from ChatGPT-3 and ask this ChatGPT-3 to explain that thing as if you are talking to a 5-year-old. Okay, so you'll get a result in which he'll try to explain you it in a manner as if a 5-year-old can understand. So this is like one of the things or one of the ways I use ChatGPT 3, but apart from that there are other uses too. For example, let's say I need to write a code with X or Y number of inputs, and I need to get the problem is really complex, and to pin it to Google search would be hard for me. For example, if someone asks me to write a code to check the eligibility to vote, and I need to write the code in a ternary optional manner. Okay, so there's something in Java which is called ternary operations. Okay, so you have to explain everything in one line, that thing. So you won't find enough solutions on Google, but you can ask ChatGPT 3 to generate the solution for it. And yeah, and that will.
So your use for ChatGPT has mainly been for academic purposes, right?
Yeah.
So does ChatGPT give you relevant information?
Yes, mostly I got the relevant answers to the questions I asked, but there are some limitations to it also. For example, GPT has this thing that the data fed in the ChatGPT's data models is not recent. Okay, it's before 2022. So I think only till 2021 the data sets has been updated in ChatGPT. So if you ask a question after that particular year, you won't get exact answers. It is something which has been done by the company OpenAI itself. So yeah.
Okay, so according to you, is ChatGPT a good source of information?
Yeah, like it's a good source of information if you have patience for the answers, because very often the traffic is too much on the server and it is very often down. And if you have patience, surely a great software. But if you don't, it may not help you that much because it surely has some glitches because it's just recently launched software and it is not perfect right now. But I know they'll fix it over time, and of course there are
Right.
situations in which you are getting wrong answers. Like if you ask a question and if you try to give inputs between the question, there are some certain situations in which I have been where I didn't get the exact answer or I got the wrong answer.
Okay, so does ChatGPT give you complete information on the information that you are seeking?
Yeah, like I do get that kind of information, but the thing is, it depends, right? Like if you specify the amount or unit of the information which you are seeking for, then you will get the exact answer. For example, let's say I specify that I want ChatGPT 3 to explain astrobiology to me in within 80 words. Okay, so that's a limitation they said. So of course, like it's the complete information that I asked for. Okay, so I set the limit. So if you mostly get the right solutions in terms of facts, right? Like if you are searching for a fact or like if you're asking to explain it, then for sure you will get a good answer.
Okay, so the answers that ChatGPT provides,
Mhm.
how will you explain it? Generic or specific?
Okay. If it mostly gives generic answers, but the thing is, if you ask it to specify, it can specify it for you.
Right. Okay. So how has it helped you, like ChatGPT, this feature? How has it helped you in your daily life?
Okay, for example, I do already gave the example of writing code, but apart from that, like let's say I want my code to get shortened, okay? I just want, X or like a certain amount of data complexity for my code. So I can specify that. Like, but the thing is, like, it doesn't work very well in that situation because the input I'm giving is very complex for that software to understand, and there's not enough data fed in the software, so it can decrease the space and time complexity of the programs. But if I ask a pre-existing problem solution, it will give me solutions for that particular thing.
Right. Okay. So what are the features in ChatGPT that you find distinctive or unique? Maybe the response time, the interactivity, the answers. So what are the unique features about ChatGPT?
Okay, the thing I love about ChatGPT was the like I think it has one of the best natural language processing units in it. Okay, so what happens is basically, so there is this terminology in artificial intelligence that artificial intelligence would be considered superior if it's able to break down a human language. Okay, the language we speak generally, like natural language. So natural language processing basically dissect normal language, and what happens is basically if the computer is easily able to understand the regular language, then it can do a lot of things. So the thing is that software is getting my questions, which I'm asking in long sentences and everything. It is exactly getting what I'm saying. That is really cool. That feature is like make me wonder like how cool the software is.
Okay, so like it really gets the user what they're looking for, right?
Yeah, if you specify.
Okay, right. So do you use ChatGPT for your academic or professional purposes?
Okay, I used it once to write a script about history of CRISPR. So CRISPR is basically a gene editing tool. So the full form of CRISPR is clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats. So it's like it was a professional work, and yes, I use it for my like professional life, and even I can use it for writing my assignments. And yeah, it will help. But they have recently released a feature or a limitation, you can say, if the software gets to know that you are asking this question for the assignment, it would give you the answer. It's just like for the welfare of children, so they don't copy or plagiarize the research. So for that very reason, like they have launched this particular feature. Yeah, like it helped me in my professional life for sure.
Okay, great. So have you been satisfied with the responses from ChatGPT?
I'm mostly satisfied with the result, even though sometimes I stop generating the response in between, and I hate that thing. So if you feed a lot of information to it, there are responses which takes time, and I just stop it in between because I cannot wait more than 2 minutes. I'm like very impulsive about that particular thing, so it stops the response generation in between. So I'm not exactly satisfied, but like in most cases, if I'm patient enough, I'll get the answer. But because of course, like there's a lot of traffic as I already told. So due to that reason, the servers are very slow and the processing power it is taking is really a lot. So due to that very reason, I'm like mostly satisfied. But and it has the capacity to generate the solution, but it's not generating and stopping it in between due to that particular thing because I have fed so much data like or asked a really a long answer.
Okay, right. So has ChatGPT met your expectations?
Okay, so this is a question which I like. I don't know like exactly how to explain, but like in terms of meeting my expectations, I would say that I heard about it earlier and I tried to trick the model, and and I would like to tell that it surely surpassed my expectation in some way or the other because I didn't expect a software to be so good at natural language processing, and it surely outdid Google. And still, at the end of the day, it is an AI, so it has limitation, but still, sometimes I wonder like how good the software is at the language processing. So yeah, it's surely surpassed my expectations.
So comment on your experience with ChatGPT, like rate it on a scale of 1 to 10.
I'm not in the situation to rate it, to be honest, because I didn't use a lot of software like ChatGPT 3, and Google is about to launch their version of ChatGPT 3, which is called Sparrow. And after releasing that, I can rate it better, but right now I'll rate it 6. And like I cut the 4 points because of the reason that it like the server is really slow sometimes, and the processing power it is taking, like including the processing power it is taking and everything in my mind. I still think I'll rate it 6 or 7 because I know Sparrow is going to be more powerful than this particular software. And later I'll tell you the reason for it. But yeah, if I go for it, like yeah, I'm kind of I should say like I'll rate 6 for it. And what was the other question? I
Okay,
forgot.
okay, I'll take from here. Why do you think that Sparrow, which Google is launching, will be better than ChatGPT?
Okay, so like the answer is very obvious. First of all, it's Google, and basically the thing is it trained it on 6,000 TPU chips. So TPU is basically, let me explain like the way we all know about CPU. So like there's something similar called TPU that is specifically created by Google to train data models. Okay, and the amount of data that both of the parent companies of those software. Like Sparrow has the parent company Alphabet, right? Alphabet is the parent company of Google, and OpenAI is the parent company of ChatGPT. So OpenAI does not have that much of data sets which they have trained on their particular models. But if you look at Sparrow, like Google has all the data in the world, right? Like we do everything on Google, and it I don't think so a day goes by when we don't use Google. Like we use at least some service of Google, right? So Sparrow, this thing okay. So first of all, GPT is actually based on transformer architecture, which was released 6 years ago by Google itself. Okay, so the competition is actually your parent. So literally that is the thing. And Sparrow is actually the weakest of the three language models of that Google have. So they have three major language models. One is Sparrow, other is Lambda, other is Pathway, and there are others too like Paul and AlphaGo and other things. But like
Yes.
Sparrow is the weakest of all three. So yeah, I think it is called something like Chinchilla model. Okay, so it sounds weird, but it's the most it is a least trained model. It is, but when it was tested, it has surpassed 70 billion parameter on the test of comparing it with Chat GPT-3. It surpassed it on the basis of 70 billion parameters, and the
Okay.
test, yeah.
Nice. I'm
Mhm.
really amused with the detail and the vast knowledge you have on this. That's really cool.
Thank you.
Okay, so what draws you to Chat GPT, the quality aspect or the quantity aspect?
Okay, it's surely the quality aspect. As I've already mentioned three times in this, the thing is that sometimes you don't get enough responses because of this when the server is slow, right? So you cannot generate thousands of solutions in one day, right? Because most of the time the server is slow, and like whenever you are generating the response, there is an interruption. But the quality of even one response is really, really high. Okay, if you ask to generate a very specific thing, it will generate that very easily. And I have never seen that happening before, and it has surely surpassed the search engine, Google. But the thing is, the quality is I don't know, unmatchable in so many senses. So that's what I would like to say for that particular thing.
Okay.
So. hmm.
Okay, so Chat GPT is interactive or not? Agree or disagree in this?
Yes, ChatGPT is interactive because it has the ability to understand our language and giving customized answer based on that particular thing, right? So if you are looking for interaction, it could be a good software, okay? Like because it understands our language better than other rest of the software and rest of the chatbots.
Yeah. So do you find Chat GPT engaging?
Yes, it is engaging if you use it in that way. It's just like Google, but instead of searching for answers, they are being generated especially for you. Okay, so according to your need, you can generate the responses. So, imagine Google. Every time you search something on Google, and it is generating specifically a response for you. Okay, knowing your profile, knowing your past and everything. So right now you have to tell this to ChatGPT, but like I think I'm pretty sure for Sparrow it is going to be more specific because they have data. So yeah, like it will be more user specified. But in ChatGPT, if you tell that software enough things, then it's surely going to tell you about that particular thing which you are looking for. So it is engaging.
Yeah, right. So do you find it easy to give input or like questions to Chat GPT? Like, is it user friendly?
Yes, the way to input questions is very simple. You just need to, write your query in the box. That is it, right? A 5-year-old can even understand that. So, like, because of the interface and everything, like, it makes the search really easy, right? The response generation and everything. You can simply go on Google, search ChatGPT, go to the ChatGPT website, sign up a login, and then you have to just type your query in the box, and the response will be generated. It's really simple.
So
So.
are you happy with the interface of Chat GPT?
Yeah, this interface is very simple. It doesn't have a lot of things on the page. It has only, a history section on the left in which, you have old responses, and at the bottom of the page, you have this thing, like input box where you search your query, right? Like where you write your query and the response is generated. So, like, I think it's a really, really simple thing. They didn't include a lot of prompts in it. Like, there are things in it, but like, they made it really simple. Like, even a 4-year-old or 5-year-old can easily understand what is happening in the on the landing page.
Right, right. So, is there any emotional touch to the interaction? Like, does ChatGPT respond with some humor, quirky answers? Like, the emotions and the answers are present or not?
Okay, yeah, it can do that. Okay, like if you ask a question sarcastically, and like I have seen that happening. Sometimes it was unintentional. There were like a lot of memes on the internet and all over the LinkedIn that had this particular thing where a guy asked like, "What is two plus two?" and the it said four. So
Yeah,
yeah, that guy said, "But my wife said five." So said, "Your my wife must be right." So that was a sarcastic response. So yeah, that's something that
so,
I.
you think that ChatGPT can work on the emotional aspect of it?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Do you think ChatGPT can work on the emotional, humorous aspect of it?
For sure. So I'm not sure how much you're aware, like how much the listeners are aware about the Lambda thing, but Lambda was actually considered to be a sentient being. Okay, so first of all, explaining that about ChatGPT, I need to explain Lambda, so I'm going on that side. So what happened? So there was this scientist called Blake Lemoyne. So he was working on this team of deep mind, and he was building this software Lambda. So Lambda is nothing. The full form Lambda is language model for dialogue application. So it's built by Google. It is more powerful than Sparrow. So it was a test to check like if AI can have emotions or not. So what that software demanded, it actually demanded for a lawyer because he said like he's scared to get shut down, and if he gets shut down, it will be equivalent for him being killed. Okay, so that's a big deal, right? Like a software demanding for himself to keep alive.
Alive.
Yeah. So
Yeah, okay.
he was considering himself a sentient being and he was showing all the emotion. That was actually the purpose of that software. And the guy, Blake Lemoyne, was actually got removed from Google, but he have done several podcasts and he told this thing to other people that he thinks that the software is conscious and it is a sentient being. Even though, like, if you ask ChatGPT 3 the same thing, I did this thing today itself, and it said no, like he does not have consciousness or something. But like if Lambda can do that, then for sure, like it's like at the end of the day, ChatGPT can over time learn to do, improve at emotions and everything.
Yeah. Can you comment on ChatGPT's intelligence?
Okay. The thing is, okay, I was sitting with my friend and this happened. Like, we were playing game with ChatGPT 3. So, like, the test, like, the thing we did will actually conclude how intelligent it is. So the thing is, basically, we were explaining the game rules and we were playing with that particular software. So we gave the software an advice to, improve the guesses that software was making, but it couldn't take that input very well. Okay. So at that time we realized, okay, it is still just a software, right? Like he is actually good at certain things, but it's at the end of the day, it is an artificial intelligence software model, nothing more than that. So like, of course, if there are limitations on GPT-3, which are like as I've told, like it only holds data set from 2021. So these are the small things, the small details which the AI has, and it still needs to be improved, but I think like what we did that day, like it will be like if we do that same thing 3 years from now, what will happen is it's going to understand the solution better. Like it's still improving phase, so like it is very intelligent, but it's not like the greatest thing ever. So yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
So, is the language that ChatGPT uses to respond is understandable? Like everyone can understand that English or the language that ChatGPT is using?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think it generates responses specified to the user. And if you are using a very simple language, most probably it is going to answer in a very simple language. And if you don't feel as if the language is simple, you can ask it to explain it in simpler language. He can also do that. So, of course.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me, where did you learn about ChatGPT? Like, was it the internet or any friend? Like, how you got influenced into ChatGPT?
Okay, so I read a lot of books. Okay, I'm an avid reader, and there are certain books like there's one called Super Intelligent by Nick Bostrom, and there's a book called Life 3.0 by Max Tegmark, and there's this book called Artificial Intelligence. So like these are the books like from which I was learning about GPT-3. Sorry, not GPT-3, but GPT. Okay, so GPT is actually a subdomain of artificial intelligence, and ChatGPT uses that domain. Okay, so like I'm just explaining it in a simpler language. So
Yeah.
I get to know more about it from my brother. He is actually a UX UI designer in Bangalore itself, and he sent me a YouTube short explaining like what are the like possibility and what are the things that GPT software can do. So I was learning about it. So that was the first interaction. After that, like when it was launched, it got viral. Like everyone, it was
Yeah.
in everyone's mouth, right? Like everyone, it is still on everyone's mouth. But I am pretty sure when Sparrow will be launched, like it's going to do that.
Yes. So have you discussed about this app with your friends or colleague or family members?
I discussed it with one of my friends, okay, and he actually, he with whom I tested the limit of the software. So we had basically we used it to do multiple things, and it was fun. So like this one friend of mine who like I think everyone heard of that software, but not everyone used it. So that's the thing.
So have you encountered any technical issues or glitches while using ChatGPT?
Yeah, for sure. Like there are a lot of glitches while generating the responses. Like the responses stops between. It shows that the response is generating, but it doesn't show anything like progress or something. And sometimes it says that like we are having an issue because of the server thing, and yeah, it happens very often. Like they literally very often because the users are just bombarding the application. I think everyone is who use it once, like is now going to use ChatGPT instead of using Google. Okay, it is going to be more relevant to them now.
Yeah. So does your educational institution support the use of ChatGPT?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, why?
Okay, like I didn't know institution you encourage this particular thing about ChatGPT. Like as they have really confined this particular thing that you cannot make ChatGPT to write their assignment. Like people were doing that a lot. So if it gets to know, okay, that he is making this person is using ChatGPT 3 for generating his assignment, then he'll stop in between or like it'll give an error. So like it'll just tell you that he's not going to do that. Even he can, but he wants, so you have to trick the software. Don't tell this to your teachers, but like you can trick the software, of course, like asking that differently. So you just don't specify that you are asking that software to write an assignment. So it will probably work in that situation. And there are software launched by different companies where you can check the plagiarism. Okay, so if the response is actually generated by ChatGPT 3, then it will come under 99% of plagiarism. So like it is easy
Okay.
to catch. Yeah. So like don't use it if you don't know how to modify or like alter the text. So yeah.
Okay, so since you are mentioning about the assignments, has ChatGPT helped you in your assignments? It truly helped you.
And if it would have helped me, I wouldn't have told. But no, right now I haven't used. Like I didn't get assignments. That's a simple thing. If I would have gotten assignments, so I would have used it. Of course, like I don't think so. Like my teachers are going to, feel that they are going to convert my blue book assignments into digital text and then check the plagiarism. So I know they are not going to do that, so I can easily plagiarize. And even though if they are going to check, I can alter the text. There are bots which like can convert what you are saying in a different language. So like I have the solution. So I hope like it doesn't reach to my professors.
Yeah,
uh,
that's smart of you. Right. So do you find yourself becoming dependent on ChatGPT in the future?
See, the thing is, like, it is like Google, okay? Initially, it was for like useful things, but over time, when you use it again and again, it becomes like the primary source of information, okay? So, like, you use it for literally everything, like every stupid thing that you need to ask, you can ask from that software. So, like, why not get dependent on it? So, if Sparrow gets launched and like if they keep competing it, so people are going to like not just me, like people and companies are going to be dependent on this thing. Like ChatGPT 3 is going to share their API to everyone, and like there are going to be companies who are going to use that particular thing.
Yeah. Do you use ChatGPT as a matter of habit?
Right now, no, but like it can easily become a habit. If it were fast enough, it would have, I would have been addicted to it probably. And if it, like, it's just been recently launched, so I cannot say that. But like, I wouldn't say like habit, but that is going to be my primary source of information for the reasons I mentioned, a few minutes ago, that it generates response specifically to you. So of course, like, if you have a better way to answer your queries, like, or your queries getting answered more efficiently and effectively, then why not, right?
Yeah, right. Do you have any privacy or security concerns with ChatGPT?
Not specifically with ChatGPT 3, but like, I have privacy concerns with Lambda for sure, because like Lambda is everything itself. Okay, if you look at YouTube, all the videos on YouTube are actually, data set for Lambda. Okay, somehow or the other. So he literally knows everything. Okay, so he's like, he knows more about you than you know about yourself. Okay, he knows your behavior better than you, and there's so many things. So if it got launched or something like that is released, I know they'll always have ethical and, restrictions, different kind of technical restrictions for Lambda. But like over time, the thing, privacy can be easily invaded by Lambda if they want to, or if they didn't, use any restrictions on that software. Like, but it's not true for ChatGPT 3, because he knows nothing about me, and like, it's not Google, right? Google have all my information, and OpenAI may not have that much information about me, because there's something like, OpenAI like has, I think, two of the most famous softwares, ChatGPT 3 and DALL-E 2. So DALL-E 2 is basically software to generate images according to you. Even though like I don't think it is good enough, it can do a few things. But like if you ask that software to generate faces or something, they are going to be very distorted. I don't know what's the reason. Like, is it a restriction by like the software engineers, or like is it something
Yeah,
that's,
but with ChatGPT, you feel that there is no any privacy or security concerns as of now.
yeah, as of now I don't.
Okay, so the last question that I'll ask you is, what is your recommendation or suggestions for this feature ChatGPT?
Okay, I'll say wait and watch. Okay, that's the best thing, right?
Mhm.
Like, over time, it is going to improve, and the thing is, like, of course, you can use it, and like over time, if it stays there, I know, like, if it's not ChatGPT 3, it's going to be Lambda or like Sparrow or some software, some kind of software which can, specifically generate responses for you. That is going to be there, and it will improve over time. So, of course, like, now searches are going to be irrelevant in next 10 years. Like they are going to be mostly irrelevant, so you won't look for links. So okay, yeah. So the special thing about Sparrow, like if I compare it to ChatGPT 3, is that it provides evidence, like research evidence, whenever it answers a query. For example, you ask it about like, a question about philosophy, okay, like
Yeah.
predictive philosophy or like any philosophy, okay, and you are actually looking for evidence, right? In ChatGPT 3, you don't have this evidence thing, but in like Google Sparrow, you will have the link to an article related to that. And we all know Google Scholar, that's the best place for research papers, right? So Google already have all the great research papers published on the website. So it's going to be, it's going to share you the link of that particular thing. So yeah, that's going to happen. That's better than ChatGPT for sure. So people who are using it for research, they are going to like it more. And I think it won't have that much of server down issues as they are having it in ChatGPT, because Google is a big company, we all know, right? So yeah,
Yeah,
simple.
right. Okay, that was really informative and detailed.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for this.
Yeah, welcome.